Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for honoring us with your presence. And for those of you online, it is my pleasure to welcome you too. I'm really so excited to be here today. And if I wasn't wearing a suit, I would do a little bit of breakdancing, just to show you how excited I am. This conference cannot be coming at a more auspicious time. Our world is increasingly unrecognizable. Justice is losing its priority seats in the affairs of men and affairs of nations. And so I'm really glad we're here to tackle this important conversation and find pathways of resolving the challenges that we face. But first, I want to start with a note of gratitude to the Netherlands Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the government of the Netherlands for being a steady support and champion for the cause of justice at a time where a lot of other countries are retreating from issues related to justice. The Dutch government has prioritized it as a key component of their foreign policy engagement. And at a time like this, that is remarkable. And we are really grateful for the partnership that we've enjoyed with you and the long years of relationship. To the city of Hague, it is not often that a city is categorized as the peace and justice capital of the world. It is a well-earned designation and one that they've lived up to. And I'm also really excited for the partnership we've shared with you and looking forward to more years of partnership. And it's important to mention that the city of Hague, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, are our partners in hosting this event. And I'm really grateful for that partnership. And to the man on whose vision and on whose shoulder we are standing today, Sam Muller, I cannot thank you enough for the audacity of your vision, for seeing what others may not have seen over the years, for your remarkable passion for the cause of justice, and most importantly, for welcoming me to HiiL and being the most incredible former CEO I've ever encountered. And I would ask you, Sam, please stand up and take a bow. Somewhere in Tunisia in 2010, a young man, Mohamed Bouazizi, has spent most of his life selling wares in a cart. He was the breadwinner of his family. He was the source of the extended family livelihood. But his story wasn't a very straightforward one. Every day, he has been subject of abuse by local authorities, by the police. Move your carts, pay your tax, do this, do that. And at every point where he suffered injustice in the hands of the people who are supposed to protect him, he had no recourse. And on this particularly frustrating morning, they had seized his cart once again, refused to listen to him, and he was tired. Mohammed went to the front of the local government building, doused himself on gasoline, and set himself on fire. This was an isolated act of self-immolation in a tiny village in Tunisia. But that singular act of frustration reverberated across the world and forever redefined the Middle East. It didn't stop there. Close to 500,000 people died from the aftermath of that singular act of this frustrated young man. No one was spared. The shores of Europe received 1.2 million refugees. This was triggered by the act of one man. This was triggered by the frustration for injustice. And so, when justice fails, the world shakes. In 1981, in Nigeria, a very prominent businessman in the southeast of Nigeria, Chief Okeje, died. But he died without a will. And so his daughter, Gladys, couldn't inherit his father. You know why? Because she was a woman. And under the customary practices of Igbo people at that time, she wasn't eligible to inherit her father. She was his daughter by blood, bore his name, but he wasn't good enough to inherit his father. Most people would have just walked into the shadows and leave it up to God to resolve. Gladys did something different. He went to court. She went to court. And you would think that solved the problem. It took 33 years for the Supreme Court to finally give a judgment recognizing that she is a person and that she should inherit her father. Within that 33 years, family relationships were broken, part of the properties were lost, her life had irrevocably changed simply because justice failed. When justice fails, families suffer. In 2017, we had a tradition, 2007, we had a tradition in my family to gather together around Christmas and make merry and laugh and play and joke. On this quite hazy Harmattan morning, the echo of our laughter, the ring of our laughter was interrupted. My little cousin came crying. And when we asked her, what is going on? She said to us, he is beating my mother again. My cousin Uche was widowed. And her husband's younger brother had turned her into a punching bag. So every day is one story of violence or the other. And nothing, we couldn't solve the problem. But on this unfortunate morning, something changed. We were tired of waiting for justice to happen. So we piled into the car, 3 cars, and went to our in-laws' house. What happened next was the making of a movie. Everything that was standing in that compound was leveled. It was the most irresponsible decision I've ever taken in my life. It could have turned fatal. And if that had happened, I would not be here speaking to you today. When justice fails, dreams can become dust. All over the world, every time justice fails, something bad happens. When justice fails, the little boy in Syria who has been displaced will not be able to get his documentation, will not be able to gain government services. And that poverty, that cycle of poverty will persist. When justice fails, women are not able to inherit. They are not able to own land. They are kept in a cycle of poverty because they do not have access to property. When justice fails, small businesses in Tunisia will resort to self-immolation to get the authorities to hear them. When it fails, communities resolve conflicts by force of arms, and the language of human relationship becomes violence. But there's the good news. The good news is that it just doesn't have to be so, because we've come to know exactly what works. Whenever you build the justice system on people, on their needs, it makes a whole lot of difference. And we're living that reality. In Tunisia, we're empowering young people and small businesses with the tools to resolve employment disputes. We've developed an online platform that enhances the work of 350 labor inspectors, making it easy for employees and employers to resolve their challenges. In Niger, where more than 23% of the population is affected by land disputes, we are helping shepherd a marriage between the informal and the formal sector, allowing communities to use their own tools to resolve land disputes. In Ethiopia, we have partnered with government to help promote community justice systems, accessible, available, and respected by the people. In Iraq, we've supported the development of innovative solutions for land and housing disputes, including a mobile clinic for women who are not able to go out to resolve their justice needs. Everywhere we've worked, we have seen the huge potentials of people-centered justice. Our interventions are informed by the needs of the people and built on solutions that are owned by the people. No organization can address the justice gap alone. So we need you. Practitioners, activists, funders, development partners, businesses, each one of us in this room and online, we've got a big role to play in helping people access justice. History is not linear. It flows in contradictory waves. Every epochal period in history produces winners and losers. In this time in our history, I don't know those who will win, but I know those who will lose. It will be those countries who treat justice as an irritating noise of overhyped human rights groups. It will be those countries who fail to see the foundation, that the foundation of prosperity starts with justice. It will be those who want to secure their borders without thinking of the inadequacies that are bringing people to their shores. It will be those who capitulate to the ill-advised and uninformed vocal minorities and cower before the clay-footed wannabe dictators. Folks who believe that justice is an avoidable irritation. They are the ones who are going to lose. Because it's not a choice between justice and stability. It's not a choice between justice and prosperity. It's a choice between justice and destruction. And there are no middle grounds. And sometime on March 31, 1968, a man that I very much respected, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., prophetically said, "The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice." And today I'm asking you, online and offline, help us bend this arc. Help us move this arc in the direction of justice. Justice that works. Justice of the people. Thank you so much for your attention.